Hey everyone, Dana here. Hey, just a quick tip for you. I started this laser project yesterday, and I do a lot of cutting boards with laser images or laser engravings of whatever, whatever people want. And I do that all the time. And I always experience issues with the intensity of the carve or the engrave, how dark it is, and I don't want it to go too deep, but I want it to be dark enough so that it shows up really well on a cutting board. And the idea of a cutting board is so you can use it and it has that image in it. I want to go dark enough, but I don't want to have to build a crevice in there to make it dark, then sand this whole thing off and take the chance of removing some of that. So it's a fine line for me. I've been experiencing some really weird things when it comes to using the laser and the intensity. So what I found out is that whatever wood that we use, whether it's oak, maple, cherry, whatever it is, they all have different structures, so they burn differently. Now, when we glue cutting boards up, each piece of wood has a different structure than the next. So you might get uneven burn across it. So what I'm doing here is I had the uneven burn, and all I did to correct it is I segregated the vectors that needed to be darker.
What I thought I would do is show you how I segregated everything. I'm going to start obviously with this particular image. This is how I would separate the vectors in order to get a better carve in a certain portion. Now, the way we get vectors from an image is the way we always get vectors. I right click on it, trace the image, and what you see there in pink is what it gives you, and then you have the option to adjust it and modify it in several different ways. Sometimes we just do it that way. And there's basically what I got. What it does is it puts that double image all the way around. I didn't want that, so I modified it a little bit, but you get the gist of it. You have to mess around with this thing a little bit to get it the way you want it, but I mean, generally Lightburn is an excellent program for doing this stuff, and you should be able to make that all happen. Now, for this image, I got these vectors right here. This is what I decided that I would work for me, and what I wanted to have as far as a look on the cutting board. So a lot of times what I'll do is I will do different versions of it, and you can see I took these out because I had to actually enter the Chevy emblem and this emblem. I'm not sure what they call this, but anyway, I had to put that in manually. But very easy to do. If you ungroup any of these, you can ungroup and group any of these vectors once you've created them. But anyway, let's move on from that. So what I do is I shut this off. I don't want to see these. And it's on the image layer. So you can see I have a black layer, a blue layer, and a dark red or a maroon layer. And I do that so that I can set up the different. I didn't do anything with this image. That's why that number is all messed up. But these are the burn speeds and power that I used. But anyway, how I did that is when it came in all together, grouped. I just ungrouped it. And then I selected this flag, made it a group. Did everything in that flag, made it a group. Same thing on this side. You do that by right-clicking, clicking group. If it's already grouped and you want to ungroup it, obviously you just ungroup it. But that's how I did that. Now I had, for some reason, this side and this side through this part of the board did not want to carve very well. From here down didn't do too bad. The tops of the word didn't really carve well, so I had to do the word, this portion here, this red portion, and these two flags and the logos over again. And all in all, I guess it took about an hour and a half to do this. The way it is now, I think it was an hour and 37 minutes, but it's never right. It's always either quicker or longer, one way or the other. So it's never worked out right on the money. But that's how I did that. That's how I segregated it. Now the way we get different burns is I'll select this and I'll put it on a different layer. Like right now it's on the black layer. So you see I selected this one and this one, and I would group them, okay? Just group them and put them on the dark red layer, number 10. So that way I can have the burn I want. I would shut off the output on the other ones and just carve those layers. That's how I did that. So I hope that explains it for you. Pretty simple. Lightburn is very, very good program. I love this program for the laser work. I've even brought images into this and made vectors and brought them back into Carveco and utilized them in Carveco because I struggle a bit with Carveco as far as making vectors, and I also I struggle a little bit only because I haven't taught myself how to do it yet. It was just simpler for me to use in Lightburn because I use Lightburn a lot. I really use it a lot. I love my laser, my Longmill laser, and I use it a lot. So that's how I did it.
And I just ran them again, and that's what we're doing. It's coming out pretty good. It's not perfect by any means, but it's coming out pretty good. And then when I oil this, it'll darken up a little bit. But that's the tip I want to share with you. Don't get discouraged. Don't just think it can't be done, because it can. Sometimes you might have to go a couple of times over something. Be careful not to move it, because if you move it, you're done for the most part, unless you have a different way of positioning it. But anyway, don't get discouraged, and you'll make a nice project for sure. Hey, we'll see you next time. Be safe out there.